7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother. What we do here is go back.
Hey everyone, Steven Jensen here with Jessi Davin in audio form again today. Good to have Jessi back, even if it is just this picture of her here on the screen. But welcome back, Jessi, and welcome everyone back to the chat. Missed y'all. We had last week off, so it's good to be back and talk some pro wrestling. But before we get started, and we got a couple super chats to address here right off the top too. Jessi, how you been?
I've been doing good. Just been busy with mom life. Got a sick kid after me being sick and just trying to get everybody healthy and happy, but we're happy. Just got to get healthy. How are you?
I'm good. As you know, me and Jessi were talking before the show, I did a in-person interview earlier today with a friend of mine named Zoe Walker, who's now known in the wrestling world as Gemma Jules, and she is a trainee of the Nightmare Factory in the Atlanta, Georgia area, where, you know, Cody, obviously a part owner. She was mainly trained by QT Marshall and Glacier. So it was a lot of fun to talk to her. She just had her first match recently and has some bookings coming up. So did that today. There's been a lot of good wrestling over the weekend. NWA's back. I mean, that was good. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Before we get into the chat today, y'all, I want to give a huge shout out to Corey, because Corey, as always, hitting us with the super chats. He hit us with 2 before we got started. First one says, lots of love for you, Jessi, and I'm sure that's much appreciated on Jessi's end. I appreciate it too, Corey. Like, so even though it's Jessi specific, something that a lot of people don't know is I stay in touch with a lot of the viewers just like through DMs and Twitter and whatnot, and I talk to Corey fairly often, just about random wrestling stuff. So like, Corey, big supporter of what we do here on the channel, and he also says, yeah, just showing more support for Jessi and her family. Lots of love, prayers, and positive vibes your way, and for your family's happiness, health, and success always. So a lot of love from Corey towards Jessi on today's channel, or on today's stream.
Oh, well, thank you. And I'm sure there's some of it is for you too.
Yeah. I won't take it personally. No worries. But if anybody does want to send super chats or donations, that's always greatly appreciated. The super chats can be done right through YouTube, and the donation links are in the description below. So either way, you'll get your questions answered, your comments read out. I'd love to hear what y'all think about the Fiend, because we're going to talk quite a bit about that, and I want to know what your thoughts on the WrestleMania card is, like whether they're getting this right or getting it wrong. We're going to talk about some of like the matches that have been announced. This will probably be a fairly heavy WWE episode, which is pretty rare for our show. So if y'all, this is your chance, y'all, like anybody who's been waiting for us to really kind of deep dive on WrestleMania related topics and stuff, today's a great time to make your voice heard. So once again, super chat donations really appreciated. And good to see everyone here in the chat. Chanel Morgan's here, Robert Hall's here, Kenny the Bastard's here, Jordan Lasseter, he's here like all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, welcome back everybody.
Ooh, glad everyone's here.
Yes, and Jessi, of course, is very busy. Before we got started, I could see her whole setup over there. It's like Scarlett's there, like playing with. She's like eating her lunch, but like play date with like the fake food and her doll next to her, and Savannah's up on Jessi and everything, and it's good. I'm glad that we were able to get a few minutes from you, because I know it hasn't been easy to get any kind of break lately.
No, it has not, but hopefully, it's only temporary, what I mean?
Well, and I've said it a trillion times, like that's way more important than this show. So it's like I would have questions about you as a human being if there wasn't some sort of, you know what I mean? Like you gotta be there.
I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. Just don't ignore the babies crying in the background.
Well, the funny thing was when right at, I think it was probably right before you went into labor, me and Sean Ross Sapp did a review for one of the Impact pay-per-views on the Fightful YouTube channel, and he was giving you a bunch of crap because he was like, "Oh, what? Jessi's gonna take a break? She's not gonna jump on there while she's in labor? Like, oh yeah, some dedication she's got."
Oh my god! But I got so much crap for posting that one video of me during the Royal Rumble while I was giving birth.
Right.
Oh my god! Like literally everyone was like, "Oh my god, this woman's tweeting." Oh, it's so stupid. But whatever.
Yeah, no. My thing is like, as long as it doesn't put your child at any kind of risk, who cares?
Right? Who cares? Yeah, I know.
So, yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we're making it work.
Yeah, we're making it work, and we'll be back to normal again for y'all with like both of us on video and doing this. At least once a week, and maybe going back to twice a week or something sometime, in the future. So we appreciate everyone who's been, sticking with us and hanging out and all that good stuff. But
definitely appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, for sure. And the channel continues to grow. I mean, it's at like 12.5 or something now, or something like that.
Yes, it is.
And just so y'all know, I still have the money for Brody Lee's family. Like I have that still in my PayPal account, and I'm just waiting to find out like. The last time I checked was a couple weeks back. I'm waiting to find out like how you get the money to the Amanda Huber Brody Lee Foundation that they're starting. I don't know how you do that yet, but like the money's there and it will get sent to them. Just want to follow up with that for everybody. And we still do plan on doing a giveaway because we were planning on doing that at 10,000, but now we're at like 12.5. But like obviously with the stuff that's been going on with Jessi, like it's kind of hard to coordinate because we have other companies involved with this where we're trying to get stuff sent from them, and the timing was just really. It's funny because like we hit the mark we wanted to faster than we expected to, so now it's
we were like, oh geez.
So so we do still plan on doing that stuff for y'all too. I just wanted to follow up on that stuff too because it's been a minute since we talked about that. So
Good. I know that was good to mention. I was gonna mention that too because I was thinking about that the other day, trying to figure out more stuff, kind of deep dive into trying to figure out where to send that money. But I'm sure eventually it'll become increasingly more clear where to send it to, and we'll be one of the first people to do
Exactly.
it.
And if it's out there
So
already, like somebody just send me a message and let me know.
let us know. Yeah.
Because like from the research I did, I was seeing a lot of Brody Lee memorial stuff, but I couldn't find just like here's the foundation, here's how you donate to to the
I want to hear it from like Amanda herself. You know what I
exactly, because
mean?
surely she'll put like a link out or something that's like, hey, this is the
Of
official,
course.
and it's like once we know what that is and I have that correct information, you know, I just don't want to ever get to a point where, not that this has happened, I just don't want to get to a point that somebody like asks us about that and we're like, oh yeah, we didn't send it, because like that's not the case at all.
Yeah.
I've literally have a spot in my PayPal that's like, don't touch this because this is the going over here.
Yes.
So, anyways, that all being said, where do you want to start today, Jessi? Do you want to talk about like the Fiend or like Fastlane or?
Um. I guess we can talk about like the Fiend and Fastlane and stuff. I guess that's where we can kind of go because I mean that's kind of like the big thing right now, other than like the Hall of Fame, which just like broke. But
Yeah, and there's also the Peacock news, how they're like editing old footage and stuff.
oh yeah, I don't know much about that. I just kind of saw stuff about
Yeah,
that.
I haven't looked too into it myself. I did see that Fightful Select was talking about that. Um, from here's my thing. Here's my stance. And I'll just give you a quick stance on this because this is probably a good spot to start today. And just so y'all know, we'll probably do about an hour or so. So make sure you get those super chats and donations in, and we'll definitely address anything y'all want us to before we get off the air. The thing I saw this coming with the Peacock move. I really did. When they made this deal with NBC, I was like, there's going to be things that the network currently has that they're just not going to want to be associated with. And the big one that comes to mind is obviously anything that has to do with Chris Benoit, which is understandable.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I'm surprised that the network didn't like scrub any of that
Well,
themselves.
they did have a disclaimer before anything that he was in that was like, hey, our views don't like align with the personal lives of the like it's a very clear like they put a disclaimer in front of anything that has him in it. But
Oh,
but
okay. Kind of like Disney does with the old
it,
movies.
exactly, and I've heard that exact comparison. I'm glad you brought that up because people are
Yeah.
saying that they've done that with Disney movies on Disney Plus for stuff that's basically like, there might be like a cartoon where, they say something or do something where like back in the day nobody really thought much of it, but now it's like totally not cool anymore. But like they don't want to just re-edit or get rid of the movie altogether, so they put that disclaimer up like, hey, times have changed, keep that in mind while you watch this, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot I was muted.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, because I haven't seen that on Disney
I,
Plus, but I'm assuming that's kind of what it is, right? It's like probably
yes. It's like a like this doesn't like it basically says like back in the day, things were different. This doesn't reflect what Disney the company represents now,
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, so like, I mean, if the WWE or if Peacock rather did that with WWE footage, like I'd be okay with
That's
that.
what I feel like they should do.
Yeah. But what I'm afraid they're gonna do, and what I'm hearing a little bit of, like what I keep hearing is Attitude Era. That's what I keep hearing. And it's like, if they go in there and then like, because here's the thing, like, was there a lot of like really wild, like misogynistic type stuff going on? Absolutely, like 100%. Like there was stuff going on where the women were like forced to like take their clothes off in the ring, and women were like getting hit on the show and stuff, like non-willingly and stuff. Like there was stuff like that. There's Stone Cold Steve Austin was like a clear alcoholic, and like I don't know if they want to like endorse that or not as a character on the show. I don't know. There's stuff about, but here's the thing. That was the time we were living in. Like, so
Exactly. That's just part of like history.
that's my thing is like I understand if there's things about the Attitude Era. The Chris Benoit thing, I understand. Not wanting to be associated with that person and that name. I get that. He killed himself and his family. It was despicable. Like, there's no, like, You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with if anybody wants to disassociate with him,
Oh
fine.
yeah,
But like,
absolutely.
we're getting into this kind of really scary situation where it's like, if they start,
It's a gray area.
yeah, well, because that's the thing is like, what's stopping this from happening to like anything that you liked growing up? Because if you look at anything, like if you looked at like the Nickelodeon cartoons that we grew up on, I promise you there's something in every one of those shows that is
Oh,
no
yeah.
longer politically correct. You know? But
Oh,
did it
yeah.
make me a screwed up person? No. Like I could, and also once you get to a certain age you recognize like this is a joke, this is a certain type of context, this, oh okay, like I'm watching a movie from, you know, the 50s and they just dropped the N-bomb. That's really, 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 really screwed up. But should the movie not exist
Oh, yeah.
anymore? Like, I think we can make that connection in our head. Like, we don't think that's cool anymore. And like, I'm sure a lot of people never thought it was cool. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like we're in this slippery slope where like everything is at risk of this happening.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's maybe I don't know. I don't really know what to do here because like I see both sides of the argument, but maybe just have like a censored version and an uncensored version. Like do that if you want to. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, the whole Peacock network seems kind of messed up anyway. You can't get it on Fire Stick. You can't pause. You can't go back. You can't. There's like and just the whole rollout of the thing has been to me very messy, which it should not have been for such a major network. And then for them to go and do this, I mean, they're in kind of hot water with the WWE audience anyway. And I get like from a PR standpoint, I get why they want to kind of go in and kind of clean up kind of like all the raunchy stuff, all the controversial stuff. But like you're talking about WWE fans who like live and breathe the Attitude Era, and to even mention that you're going to censor that is like sacrilege. Aside from the Benoit stuff, obviously.
Sure.
So I just, man, I don't know. It's weird, man. I mean, just keep the disclaimer. Just keep the disclaimer. I don't understand why we have to go in and remove things.
Yeah, I like the idea of a censored and uncensored version. If they can figure something like that out, where it's like, if you don't want your kids watching something, but you want them to be able to, you know about these eras, yeah, sure. Brandon in the chat, also known as Instant Classic. What's up, Brandon? The guy, OG YouTuber. He's super, super smart when it comes to wrestling. He says, "I wish they'd keep the network as is without the live or newer content. I'd gladly still pay $10 for the archives. Not excited about the Peacock transition." Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I'm really glad I held on to. I have like stacks of DVDs that I have considered getting rid of for years, and I'm glad I held on to them because I don't know how much of this stuff's gonna even make it to Peacock.
I know that's kind of sad, especially like for someone like me who, not for me, it's not sad for me. I mean, whatever. But I'm saying like for people that want to go back and kind of say, hey, new viewers that they go, hey, I'm seeing stuff on the net on pay-per-views, people talking about Shawn Michaels. Who is that? And you want to go back, you want to look at the entire history of Shawn Michaels. If you're going to cut out a bunch of DX stuff, you're not getting the full story. You're not getting the full history of what he's about and who he is and his evolution as a wrestler and all that, business. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like you're going to be teaching people like not the actual history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that I think people need to kind of take into account too. Is like, I think we're kind of what we're dealing with in like today's society is like everyone wanting this massive overhaul of the way everybody thinks, like super, super fast. Like, let's make it happen. Anybody you don't agree with, you call out. Anybody, and all this stuff. And we have to also keep in mind that a lot of these really messed up things that like are no longer okay, which rightfully shouldn't be okay anymore, weren't that long ago. Like we still have
exactly. It's incredible to see how much culture has changed.
It really is. And like without knowing why we've changed and like why, like, it's there's certain things of course you don't want to like see or think about and stuff, but like when you think about it, it's like it it makes sense that there's still some people that are behind the curve on like, you know, the progressive side and whatnot. But it's also like, does that mean that we have to completely erase the history that led up to here? Like, can adults not think for themselves so much to the point where it's like, you see something that happened a long time ago and you see that and you realize like, oh, that isn't okay. Like, that's not cool. Like, that's not good at all right there. Like, does that mean like that should just be like wiped off of history altogether just because it's something that like you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how you learn. That's how future generations go back and go, the reason we don't say these things is because of this right here. Here's the example. Watch it.
Right. How does that make you feel? You know, you talk about it like that. How does that make you feel when you see that?
Or these movies with great stories with like really questionable language now, but like the language wasn't questioned then.
Yeah.
So like, you know, do you just get rid of everything? Because it's like, you know, can no kid in the future watch Rocko's Modern Life because there's like some adult humor in that show? You know what I mean?
Oh, Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's tough because on one hand, like I'm very on the side of like there are words that I used to use that I will call other people out now if I hear them say it. Well, I'll be like, yo, you can't say that. That's not okay. Like you know what I mean? But like, but I'll admit, like, you know what I mean? Like, so should I be canceled? Like, because I've said stuff in the past that I totally regret and would never say ever again.
That's the slippery slope, man. That's the slippery slope. That's that's the whole conundrum, you know? That's why it's like, man, just leave it like it is and hold people accountable for it, you know, like leave it the way it is. Don't erase it. Let people hold themselves accountable. Say, yeah, we did this. Let WWE hold themselves accountable. Say, yeah, we did this stuff. It was messed up, but we've learned, and now look at us, and we're growing and we're changing. We're not doing that anymore. Let them hold themselves accountable.
Exactly. And let's also be honest about this too. When a lot of this stuff happened that will probably get censored by Peacock, the show was rated, you know, NC-17 or whatever. Like, it was for adults.
Yeah.
Now the show is rated PG. It's for children. Like, it's two completely different things. That doesn't mean it should just be erased out of history.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, it almost kind of seems like if you erase all that and be like, oh, that never happened, it's like shady. It's not trustworthy. It's shady. Why are you erasing that? You know? Like, it just seems shady. So it's like, no, just keep it the way it is. Let them be accountable. Let them apologize. And, you know, let people make their own decisions based on the actual things that happened. If you see that and it makes you not want to be a fan of today's programming, so be it. But don't not leave it out, because then if these people find out, these people that don't want to watch, if they find out that those things were said, and because they didn't see that, they're still a fan, they're going to be extremely upset, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's
like someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin's like the most cancelable human being ever. It was like a wrestling character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a beer drinker who like had his domestic issues outside of the ring, and also, you know, like the promos he used to cut in ECW were like, I mean, it's like, and here's the thing, am I saying it was all wrong? No, because like that's how he became Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's how he got the whole entertainment landscape of WWE, WWF. Like that's why there was 10 million people watching wrestling on Mondays in the 90s. Like it was because of these edgy characters. The product has changed and our culture has changed over time. But to go back and erase that stuff, I think, is ludicrous. I really do. Yeah.
I mean, Vince McMahon used a racial slur that one time.
On television. Like, as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've come a long way since that. My goodness.
Yeah, for real. I mean, and I would bet anything that'll get taken. I mean, should that get taken out of? Probably. But it's also like, it happened and we saw it.
Or like at least bleep it or something.
But
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it either. And here's the thing, it should have never been said to begin with. But it's like, but it's one of those...
Even back then, that was
exactly.
bad.
There were certain things that I think everyone should just kind of stay away from, like, no matter what, and that's one of them. Dylan, what's up, man?
Exactly.
Welcome back to the chat.
Hey, Dylan.
But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I understand the idea, like, I understand wanting... We're just living in a completely different time now than we were when a lot of this stuff was happening. And then on top of that, like, if they're going to target, like, the Attitude Era, like, I can't even imagine. And here's the other thing: it's kind of like, how far back do people even care? You know what I mean? Because like, surely there are things from like the 70s and 80s that are much more screwed up. You know what I mean? Like the language they used to use and their feelings towards, people that like we embrace nowadays and stuff. Like,
yeah,
by these standards, I feel like everything would have to get canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know how you
just wipe. There's gonna be like nothing. They should just do like prayers. Just live stream church. Just live stream church on Peacock.
And that's what I'm interested about this whole kind of thing with quote unquote cancel culture and whatnot, is I think there will be kind of a plateau at some point where it's like enough things get kind of canceled that everyone involved is kind of looking at each other like, do we really want everything to get, like, how lame is our lives going to be with every, like, people are different. Like, it's okay to have different views than other people. Like, and just, like, I'm not going to agree with everybody. I'm not going to like everybody. But, like, that doesn't mean I think that they should be completely censored either.
Yeah, the pendulum swings both ways. I mean, it's going to eventually swing, hopefully not completely the other way, but hopefully we can find a happy medium eventually.
Yeah, hopefully. So, hopefully, I mean, we'll see what happens with Peacock. That's probably, it's... I know me and Doug are going to talk about that on his YouTube channel tomorrow night. We'll probably go live at like 10 p.m. Eastern. We usually do pretty late, but I know he'll have a lot of thoughts on that. If anyone wants like more thoughts on, we'll probably go pretty deep into that. So that was a good. I mean, so we got the Peacock thing going on. What was the other WWE news that Hall of Fame? Is that what you said?
I mean, there's like Kane's in the Hall of Fame, Great Khali, I think, and then Fightful. I don't know if that one's public yet or if that's still so. Okay, so RVD. Who else?
I saw Batista isn't gonna go, but like.
Yeah, Batista isn't gonna go, but that's just because they want him to be in front of a crowd, right?
Well, I think he's doing a movie.
Further an obligation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time Batista.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, man, good for him.
Yeah, I saw the video today.
Molly Holly.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah.
I saw the video today of Undertaker telling Kane, and it was good to see. Like, he was definitely taken back by it.
Undertaker was in his car.
Yeah, yeah.
Why was he in his car? Sorry, it was cute though. It was cute.
I'm not a fan of the Great Khali going in, but I think that there are worse performers that are currently in, so it's hard for me to argue it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. At least Khali was a former world heavyweight champion. At least they can say that. There are people in that Hall of Fame that.
Yeah.
The WWE Hall of Fame is kind of a joke, in my opinion, to be completely honest. Like, I feel really happy for the people who get their moment and like get to be a part of it and everything. I know it means a lot to a lot of wrestlers, but I don't know. And I think Khali kind of like.
Yeah, it's kind of a. And plus, it's like so, no offense, but it's so boring to me. We went to the one Hall of Fame for WrestleMania. Oh my God, I was so bored.
Oh, right. The actual ceremony. Yeah, it's long.
Yeah. It's so long.
They do like all the red carpet and all that stuff like beforehand.
Yeah.
Long. Robert Hall says Khali, Kane, RVD confirmed. Yeah, and RVD 1,000,000,000% deserves it. I have no dispute on that one.
Yeah, I think, he deserves that.
Him and Kane, unquestionably.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were former tag team champions together, the two of them.
That's right. Wonder if they'll both get inducted together.
No, but I mean, it'd be cool if they mentioned it. Or if, like, one was after the other and they kind of, like, cross paths or something. Like.
Yeah, that would be cute. They should do that.
Robert says it was by Frightful. Yeah, by Fightful. Yeah, they wrote. Fightful Select actually broke the news of the Rob Van Dam thing.
Yes.
And guess where you can listen to me on Sundays? Over at FightfulSelect.com.
Yeah.
Fightful Weekender Podcast, baby. Check it out.
They've got some good scoops over there on Fightful, and they got your Weekender.
Yeah, they got Alice Pulaski's Sour Graps. They got Shaq is doing the 1-2 punch on there now. So they got a lot of good content. Shaq for Fightful MMA, not Shaquille O'Neal, just in case anybody maybe heard that and was like, Shaquille O'Neal. If we had Shaquille O'Neal, I I would use connections from Shaquille O'Neal to meet Aaron Carter. That's how I'd use that.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that partnership.
How I beat Shaq.
Yeah. That's how I beat Shaq. I remember that
You know,
song.
he's Aaron Carter's boxing Lamar Odom soon.
What?
Yeah, the former NBA player.
What? The one that was on
Yeah,
crack?
yeah, the Kardashian or whatever.
Who was on crack? That's Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're boxing each other. It's like 3 1 round. I think it's 3 1-minute rounds. It's some sort of celebrity boxing thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I still keep up with Aaron Carter a
Yeesh.
little bit. He's had quite the life story. And he's got a giant face tat now.
Yeah. Issues.
Yeah.
He's had some issues.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and Kenny says,
But,
Molly is a clear headliner, and I didn't want to breeze past that. Like, Molly Holly, 1,000,000,000%
Yes.
deserves it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. She was really out there killing it in the ring when there was, like, very few. Like, they had women on the roster, but they were more of, like, the diva type, like, models, Playboy type stuff. Like,
Yeah. She was definitely a difference maker, sort of. She kind of stood out in the best way possible.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, she was, like, an actual. It sounds misogynistic to say, but like y'all understand, like who watched it back in the day. Like there was a lot of women's wrestling during the time that Molly Holly was really in her prime. Like she was one of the few women actually wrestling. Like the rest of it was like cat fight type stuff, wrestling in bowls in tubs full of gravy and that kind of bra and panties matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It was more. They were just eye candy. She was more than eye candy.
I mean, it's funny because she came into wrestling as eye candy with
Yes, exactly.
She was with Randy Savage in WCW as Mona, and that's all I knew her as because I was a huge WCW fan. And Randy Savage is my favorite wrestler. Him Jericho, and him and Jericho basically, and Cody because I love Cody. But those are like my favorite wrestlers ever. And then then she randomly popped up on WWF one day, and they were calling her Molly Holly, and I was like, wait, like Miss Madness from like WCW is Molly is now related to the Crash and Hardcore Holly? Like what? I was so confused, and then it turned out she was a great wrestler, and I was like, why didn't WCW have her to wrestle? Like they had what the hell? Why didn't they? What?
You had this talent the whole time.
Yeah, exactly that. It was like they had this talent and they just had her standing outside of the ring while Savage was wrestling. What the hell? But yeah, she was great. Totally deserves it. Couldn't agree more.
Ooh.
Jordan Lassiter says, I wonder if Liger is going to come to the States. That's right, because Liger, I think, was announced for last year's Hall of Fame that they didn't get to do.
Was he really?
I think he was.
Was he?
I'd have to double check. Someone in the chat let me know. I mean, I guess I could look it up on my computer. Jushin Liger, WWE Hall of Fame. Let's see. Yep, he's class of 2020.
Oh wow.
So
I forgot about that somehow.
yeah, that's a good question, Jordan, because I don't know if Liger, I don't know how that's working with I'm assuming he's like residing in Japan at the moment, so like I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that works either. I guess I mean he's got plenty of time. Well, no, they're taping it, aren't they?
Yeah, they're taping it, I think.
So they'll probably just tape his over in Japan.
Yeah, good call. That's probably what they'll do.
Yeah.
But good to see him in. I mean, he's a no-brainer. Even though he only wrestled one match ever for the WWE and was on NXT against
he's still a legend. Yeah, he's still a legend.
Yeah, 100%. I still remember him wrestling for the WCW Cruiserweight title on Monday Nitro, and like it might have been the first ever Nitro match. Might have been Brian Pillman and Jushin Liger actually.
Wow.
Someone in the chat will definitely be able to confirm if I'm right about that or if I just totally made that up. But
yeah.
But yeah, okay, shit. Is there any more Hall of Fame related stuff to talk about? Anyone else? Anything else?
No, not that I can think of. Nothing that I'm like that's pressing.
Yeah, I'm happy to see the NWO going in. I just wish there was like a crowd for all this stuff. Or
I know that's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll have a crowd, but it will be, not as much of a crowd as what it, not as many people as most years.
I thought they were taping it. I thought they were taping the whole thing.
Um, but yeah, well, I don't know if it's like, is it a closed set for the tapings? Is what I'm saying.
That's true. They should have at least some people. That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward. I mean, they got some good talent going in. I'm excited. I'm excited to see WrestleMania, even though like I'm not that pumped for the card, but I can't wait to see, like,
The 2 nights
yeah,
again in front of a crowd.
Like I went back yesterday actually, and I was watching like just some moments that I really marked out for. Most of the stuff like that I was live at, and like we talk about a lot on the show. But
Oh,
last night I watched when the Hardys returned at WrestleMania 33.
yeah.
I watched the opening to WrestleMania 30. Were you at that one too in New Orleans?
No, I've only ever been to 33.
Okay, gotcha. So at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, the show opened with this was Hulk Hogan, pre controversy. So he's out there in the ring, and people are going nuts because he's the host of WrestleMania, and that was the time where he kept calling the Superdome the Silver Dome, and people are just losing their minds because it's like Hulk Hogan's back with the WWE. This is wild. And then the glass shatters and Steve Austin comes out, and Austin and Hogan are face to face, and everyone's going nuts because it's the dream match that we never got. And they're going back and forth, and the Rock's music hits, and he comes out. And now like the three biggest stars that WWE's ever had are together in the ring, and it was like on the crowd just going nuts, and like I miss that so much.
Oh, I know. I know. I was watching. Obviously Ohio State got. Oops. Ohio State got upset in March Madness in the first round. But you're watching I was watching like a sportsman, like a buzzer beater in the tournament like years ago, and just seeing the crowd and just watching that, and then you watch like wrestling moments with crowds. And you just go and you just kind of like you keep repeating the big moment to look at the crowd, and you're just like, oh, I miss that so much.
Yeah, that's so true. It's funny because WrestleMania 30, when this was happening, like this, when I was watching the opening of the show, the camera's panning around to the crowd, like just people's reactions as this is all happening. And it's so funny because they show some of the same people that they wound up panning in on after the Undertaker's streak got broken by Brock Lesnar. So you see them like at the beginning of the show just having the best time of their life, and then like the Undertaker loses, and they show the same person, and they're just like,
how it started versus how it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100% that. And that was me, by the way, too. Like I was completely a jaw on the ground, just what? Like I was sure there was a mistake.
I can imagine your face exactly.
I'll show you.
Okay,
I'll show you a picture one. Someone has a picture of like me from behind during it because.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
So I've talked about him before, but my buddy who works for the Pelicans, they have box seats like in the Superdome. So I was able to sit in a box for the show. Like super lucky. And I was like the first row of seats in this box, and like my feet were literally hanging over like the guardrail, like hanging over the ring basically. And
Whoa.
And when the Undertaker lost, someone took a picture like from behind, and it's like me with like just my arms up in the air and my head down, just complete disappointment. And
Yo, that's
yeah, I gotta find that picture. Like, I mean,
that's incredible.
But it is moments like that where it's just like I can't wait to see. I mean, I understand people's views on like the pandemic. I get all this stuff. Like I get that we're so damn close and people are getting vaccinated, and like like why not just wait a little bit longer when things are safe? Like I get all that, but as a fan, I'm gonna be honest. Like it's gonna be really cool to see and hear that again. So.
I know, it's going to be like emotional. It's going to be the biggest crowd since the Super Bowl.
That's wild.
In Tampa.
When the UFC is doing like full capacity shows soon now again too. So yeah, it's opening up. They're going to Jacksonville, no surprise there. They're going to Jacksonville for their first pay-per-view back, and then they're going to Houston, Texas after that, and they're letting people in. So.
Oh, speaking of the Hall of Fame, they are taping Thunderdome footage right now. for the Hall of Fame. According to Wrestling Inc., they're making people have serious or intellectual listening reactions, polite applause, crazy reactions, laughing. So I guess it'll be in the Thunderdome.
Hold on though. What? I want to make sure that I have to be missing something. Well, they're not getting to see the Hall of Fame though.
No, they're not seeing. I don't. They said it says WWE has been filming Thunderdome fan footage at recent tapings for use in the upcoming Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So I guess during like Raw and stuff, they're doing it. As my husband coughs up a lung.
I get that they're using pre-recorded footage.
Oh yeah, it says fans who were in the virtual Thunderdome crowd for the last 2 Raw shows noted that WWE asked them to do reactions to be recorded for the Hall of Fame.
Wait, so they didn't even pull reactions from like them just like marking out during the show. They had them like just film.
No natural reaction.
Sorry, what was that? What kind of reaction?
No, it's no natural reactions. It's all like posed.
That's so lame.
That's so lame.
Wait, so they're literally just filming like I could like it basically be me sitting here recording myself being like right now for no reason, and then they just use that.
Yes, exactly. It says one fan noted that they were recorded doing laugh reactions and crazy cheering, a formal or polite applause, clapping, and a serious or intellectual listening reaction.
That ruins the whole thing for me knowing that.
I know. Ugh.
It's terrible. Sorry, y'all. I mean, it would be cool for people who get to be involved, I guess, to like be there, but it's like it's like with the I've noticed every now and then whenever I'm like paying attention to Raw, which is very rarely lately, but every now and then they'll show like a celebrity in the Thunderdome, and it's clearly a loop of them because it'll be them like
yes.
You know, it'll be like the same exact thing, just looping over and over. Like, they're not there at all. It's like,
Next time WWE is on TV, I think it's SmackDown. Watch, in the front row, there's always the same person. It's like a girl. I always think it looks like a driver's license photo.
Okay.
Because it's like an all-white background, and she's just sitting there. It's the same woman. She's got long, dark hair, and she gives very mild, muted reactions. But they're good, I guess. But I don't know. It looks like she's like recording from heaven. It's really weird, but she's on every single show.
Okay.
In the same spot. It's weird. And then I've always noticed how strangely there's always people when Raw's on with like the Raw t-shirts or SmackDown with the SmackDown t-shirts.
Oh, they're wearing like a red or a blue. Yeah, wow.
They're wearing the actual shirt.
Yeah, because no one would have
so
that.
I don't know if that's just because
yeah.
Maybe they would when they did like the draft, but not that many people.
Right, exactly.
It's so weird. And then there'll be people with just like just not like a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. It's just the WWE logo on their shirt. Who buys that?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's weird.
There was the one night, right, where like you were on AEW and NXT on the same night.
No, I was watching AEW. It would have been cool if I was at AEW, but I was watching AEW and then someone said, "Hey, are you in the Thunderdome and NXT?" And I'm like, "No."
That's right. They were using your footage from a different time you were on there, right?
Yeah. Which people thought I was mad at, and I wasn't mad. I mean, that's in the terms of service, I'm sure. It's not that big of a deal, but it was just funny.
Sure, well, that's what I figured they, like, when you said that they were pre-recording for the Hall of Fame, that's what I figured you meant was, like, terms of service, they were just pulling clips from, like, actual reactions.
They should. That's what I do, but I guess that's too time-consuming.
That's too funny. So there's just people sitting at home that are just being told, all right, we're going to need you to laugh. Go ahead and do a laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and look surprised. Oh my, well, you can't believe this is happening. Go. I mean, what?
People, I would do that. If they told me I was going to be in the front row, I would absolutely do all
Fair
that.
enough. If they paid me to do it, I'd do it. Otherwise, like...
Yeah.
I'd do it wearing an AEW shirt. I guarantee that's part of, like, they'd probably make you change your shirt if they saw that, right?
Well, yeah, in the terms, when you sign up for Thunderdome, they tell you no third-party brands on your shirts or anything like that.
Gotcha. So you couldn't even wear like Adidas if you wanted to, basically, right?
Yeah, it's just covering their butts.
Sure.
You know, branding.
That's everybody. That isn't just them. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
What else we got? About another 15 minutes or so.
Andrade.
Oh, we got Andrade. Duh, yeah. What do you think about that? Where do you think Andrade lands?
Well, I just saw that Fightful had reported that who was it? Someone said that it wasn't about the money, but he was tired of sitting in catering every week. And it's such an interesting story, and I mean, there's so much drama behind it. Like, what did Charlotte have to do? And I don't really want to speculate too much on that, I guess, because who knows? But it was very interesting that they denied the release, and then all of a sudden they granted it with no, um, what's that called?
Non-compete.
No non-compete clause, which is interesting, really interesting. I don't. It'd be very interesting to hear like what actually happened behind the scenes. Did Charlotte have something to do with that? Gosh, I don't know, but I'm glad that he got his release because I mean they weren't doing anything with him.
Yeah.
If he wasn't happy, I mean that's, you even if you're not using him, you want your talent to be happy, and if they're not happy, then just let him go. Don't just hold him hostage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think he doesn't have any ill will towards WWE. I mean, he sat there and thanked like Triple H and everyone for giving him a chance. And I mean, WWE actually is the ones who unmasked him and showed us like what he looks like and showed us a different side of him. So I guess, in the way he should be thankful. It's just unfortunate that, they didn't give him and utilize him to his full potential. But hopefully he's able to do that somewhere else. And hopefully now that he's got that WWE moniker next to him, that's kind of a big deal. He's a former WWE superstar. A company, AEW, whatever, New Japan, down in Mexico, whatever, they'll, draw a lot more money because of him. And I hope that I hope he's happier,
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is just me speculating. It's just a guess, but when you look at kind of the way that it was handled with Andrade, and you look at that in comparison to someone like Brody Lee, for instance, who like had been asking for his release, and like they held him to his contract, and like it took forever
with injury time, right?
Yeah, they'll do that too. Huber might have been one of those with the injury time. They will do that. They've done that to Rey Mysterio in the past and stuff, where like, they'll tack it on to the end of your contract for time missed and whatnot. And the thing with Andrade, like I have to believe that has something to do with Charlotte. I don't think that Charlotte like was like demanded anything, but the company might be like, you know what, like it's probably just better off not to piss her off about this.
Yeah, especially her.
Yeah, like I mean, like what, like Andrade seemed like a well liked guy, and he didn't want to be there anymore, and the company, just like granted his wishes. And also it's like, why even deal with that potential issue? Charlotte's one of your biggest stars.
Yeah.
She's gonna be there for life.
Right.
Like, just, there's no point in if you're not gonna do anything with Andrade anyways, like why piss off Charlotte in the process? Like just clean split. So
yeah,
and I think Andrade's got a ton of options. I mean, I obviously AEW is the obvious.
Yeah.
And I think he fits in well there. I think that him and Zelina should get back together, and they should be a pair wherever they go.
Yes, I like them together.
Yeah, same here, because they work so well together, and they're both great individually as like singles wrestlers. So like I think that'd be really big for AEW's women's division. I think it'd be really big for AEW's men's division, like to have both of them and them. I think it also helps the women's division kind of. Even just seeing like Zelina Vega wrestle in the ring, and like Andrade being on the outside, like like giving her like a manager, like how they're kind of manage each other, like they're helping each other out.
Yeah.
I think that would be good for everybody, and I think that Ring of Honor is another one to keep your eye on, because he has he used to be the leader of I can't say that freaking name, Incogobernables, whatever. But Roosh is currently leading that group in Ring of Honor, and La Sombra, aka
I feel like that's where he's going.
I mean, it's all his guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he would go there.
But I also think that Forbidden Door, you know what I mean? So like even if he signed to AEW or Ring of Honor, wherever, I think all these companies will work together. Like we haven't seen Ring of Honor.
I think everyone except for WWE is working together. Honestly,
I feel
really
the same. I mean, we're getting MLW crossovers. We're getting, I mean, obviously the New Japan and Impact. I mean, there's a match over the collective weekend. It's Finjuice, who's a New Japan team who currently hold the Impact Wrestling tag team titles, are wrestling Violence is Forever, which is a team that signed to MLW over WrestleMania weekend. So it's MLW versus New Japan with the Impact titles. Like, it's crazy.
Whew, that's spicy. I like
There's
that.
a lot of possibilities out there. So I think that I mean the thing is, I know there's people that'll be like, I mean, how many XWB people are AW going to sign? There's only so many people. There's already have an inflated roster. I'm always hearing people like, how's Joey Janela still signed? Even though I'm a Joey Janela fan, but he seems to be one that comes up all the time, and Sean Spears and stuff. People name names, and they're like, why are these? My thing is this. Andrade fits anywhere. Like, you make a spot for Andrade. Like, he is still in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and let's face it, like, there is a huge market of Hispanic wrestling fans. Like, that is like a huge Mexican wrestling, lucha libre, all that, and professional wrestling will always be one with each other. So you always want to have Hispanic stars if you can. And Andrade is like, he's that guy. Like, he's like an Eddie Guerrero level talent, in my opinion.
Very. That's a perfect comparison. He really is. He's really incredible. He's so talented.
Yeah. Is he on the level of Eddie Guerrero, like, career-wise yet? No. But he has, like, he is, I think he's potentially could be. You know what I mean? So
yes, the potential is there. The potential is definitely there.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm very happy for him. And I hope that this sets a precedent going forward where maybe there's more wrestlers who can get out of their contracts if they want, and kind of use this as an example and be like, hey, y'all let Andrade. I mean, look at FTR. It took them forever to get out of their contracts. Like,
yeah.
And that's all I'm thinking is, what's different between those people and Andrade? Well, he's with Charlotte, and, like, they really don't want to. I don't think they want to mess with that. So.
Yeah, I think, and this is just me speculating, and I hope that it doesn't get taken too far. I feel like WWE isn't as, like, threatened by AEW as they were. Not saying that AEW isn't a threat, but I feel like it's not as forbidden as it once was. Like, and this is not just saying, like, oh, Andrade should go to AEW. This is just me speaking in general, like, about wrestlers and their contracts. I feel like at first WWE was so threatened by AEW that it was like, no, we can't let anyone go there. We can't do this. No. I think they've almost kind of surrendered to the fact a little bit, not completely, but a little bit, to the fact that AEW's here. It's going to be here. You're not going to make it go away immediately. I feel like they've done that, like, with Andrade's contract. And then, you hear, like, Big Show signing with AEW or Paul White. And Vince McMahon calls him and, like, wishes him well and, like, wishes him the best. And then you have, like, Christian sort of low-key getting, name dropped by Paul Heyman on, was it Raw Talk or Talking Smack? Mm-hmm. You have these, like, kind of little, like, allowances.
And they talked about Christian on the Broken Skull with Randy Orton. They had a whole segment about Christian. They didn't cut it out.
They're not blacklisting people anymore because they've gone to AEW as much. I mean, who knows? But, and then you've got NXT moving to Tuesdays, and it's like, it's not like they said, oh, we lost. It's just, it works out better for everyone. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, it just works out better, and it's not like Vince isn't as gung-ho, like, we have to go head-to-head with AEW because they're beating NXT every week, basically, no matter what. Even if, like, NXT puts on this great, like, high-caliber show, AEW still has a bigger audience. And I feel like they've surrendered to that. And I don't know if... I mean, it just seems like... And it's good for the wrestlers. It's like you said, it's good for the wrestlers. I hope that this is a precedent going forward. And I hope it isn't, like, something like Charlotte had a say in it. And, Ric Flair had a say in it. You know what I mean? I do hope it's WWE being more open to letting some talent go. I mean, they've got so many people coming in. My God. They've got so many people assigned at the Performance Center. And, they're kind of creating their own wrestler. Because, I mean, WWE has their own style. And they want wrestlers to wrestle their style. And, why not just kind of create your own wrestlers?
Which is what they
if you're gonna...
it's what they do. I mean, there's a famous I say famous, I'm sure it's an interview others have heard. It was with it was really good. I just lost it. It was oh my god, I just totally lost my train of thought. The who did you just mention? The last person you said right before.
Christian?
Not Christian. Oh my god, I just did that ever happen to y'all where you just like you did, it was about the new talent coming in and then making their own wrestlers. There was an interview that I remember hearing years ago. I can't remember who was doing the interview, but it was someone talking about John Cena, and it was somebody who was like in the upper management. I don't know if it was like it might have been, I don't want to misspeak, but it might have been like a Jim Ross or a John Laurinaitis or a Bruce Pritchard. It was someone along those lines, and they were talking about John Cena and how like 10 years ago they had personally like went up to John Cena and said like, hey, we're like starting to run out of people for you, like, you know, where you've beaten all of our top heels, we can only have, you know, this happened so many times before, like we need to find you new opponents. And their idea was to get AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, and James Storm from Impact, and like those were going to be 3 guys that Cena could potentially work with that he'd never wrestled before, but all 3 were ready to be main eventers. And John Cena's response was, why would we do that? We create our own stars.
Whoa.
So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the mindset, is like exactly what you just said, you know? I don't think, you know, in Vince McMahon's mind, and, you know, John Cena is kind of just like a byproduct of that because his whole career has been WWE. But that's kind of the mindset there, I think. It really is. Like, it doesn't really matter what you've done on the indies or in any other company. Like, that's why guys like Kevin Steen and El Generico and so many others, Hideo Itami, like, or Kenta, you know, like like when they started with WWE, like they were already legitimate draws. Like they drew thousands of people on the indies, and they sold pay-per-views, and like they were draws, and they had to come in there in the basics class and show that they could do somersaults and run the ropes, and they had to do all this stuff all over again because like it just didn't matter where they came from in the WWE's mind, which was wild to me.
Yeah. That's so wild.
Yeah.
So wild.
Really is. But yeah, is there anything else before we get out of here? We're like right at an hour. I know we got like some WrestleMania matches that have been announced and stuff we can talk about a little bit.
Do you want to talk about The Fiend?
Yeah, for sure. What are your thoughts on all that? What are your thoughts on like his new look and the way that, you know, Alexa Bliss beat Randy Orton 1-on-1 and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, I saw Ricky put in the chat how Randy Orton's wife was pissed. As soon as I saw her straddling Randy Orton, I was like, his wife is going to be so mad. I said that I was about to tweet it, but I didn't want to tweet it because I felt like I just didn't think that was appropriate. And sure enough, she tweeted something. I was like, oh my gosh. For one, it was like, you know what? They're doing this whole campy kind of thing. Randy Orton pukes up black tar or whatever at the beginning. I'm like, okay, that's where we're going to go. You know, there's a fireball, and then, you know, the ref nopes out of the ring, which is hilarious.
That was funny. That clip you posted was funny.
Yeah, the ref, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that ref just pieced out. He was like, nope.
Run like a bitch.
Yeah. Dude, it was so funny. You know, the lights are falling.
Yeah.
You know, workers' comp is happening. Just like shenanigans are just afloat in the ring. And you knew the Fiend was coming back because, I mean, people were tweeting yowie wowie and just, there's all sorts of cryptic stuff. And, you know, he comes out of the sewer looking like a dead Ninja Turtle. And it was creepy. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong. I think the mask is amazing looking. I think the suit looks really cool. But it looked really cool with, like, fog, like, steam and, like, the creepy lights. And I think, I mean, it's interesting, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong, I really love The Fiend, but the problem with The Fiend is it's such a limited character. There's only so much you can do. Like, you cannot have with The Fiend a lights up, just straight up wrestling match. You can't. It's The Fiend. It just wouldn't make any sense. why is a swamp creature fighting Randy Orton? Like, if you just turn on the TV, like, what is happening? What is this? It looks silly. But when you turn down the lights and you have the whole aura and you have the creepy music and you've got Alexa Bliss all hypnotized. Ooh, I need to be careful because my Echo Dot is out here.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
It's going to, like, go off and be all mad at me.
Get us DMCA strike because it accidentally plays some music or something.
Yeah. Right? You've got that whole dynamic. It's cool. But at the same time, how far can you go with that? How far can you go?
Yeah, when it's like, what more can be done to destroy it? Like Randy Orton burned him alive in front of everybody.
That's a good point.
I mean, like, and granted, it's pro wrestling. I mean, we've seen the Undertaker buried alive and come back and stuff. I mean, we saw I don't know why I keep wanting to say Paul Heyman, Percy Pringle, why can't I, Paul Bearer, duh. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Paul Bearer, we saw, like, him get literally, like, Undertaker, like, filled that whole thing with cement, and it was like, how could you ever come back from that, you know? So it's like, we've seen...
Right. Exactly. It's like, here's the thing. Okay, so this character was literally burnt to a crisp, comes back to life, and you expect me to see him not kick out of an RKO? Like, you expect me to actually see this man who fought death to kick out, to not kick out, to be pinned? Like, it makes no sense.
Exactly. Super chat from Throwback. What's up, man? Welcome back.
Welcome back. I missed you.
Yes, good to see you. It says, shenanigans. Alexa Bliss is living her best character work. Or is doing her best character work, I'm guessing. She is a huge Disney fan and horror fan. Best of both worlds. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Appreciate that, Pat. I know he's a big Alexa Bliss fan. He likes the story.
She's very good at acting this. Even if you like it, if you don't like it, you have to admit she's doing a really good job acting this thing.
Yeah, I'm just not into it. You know what I mean? Like and here's the thing. I don't blame anybody or hold any judgment on people who like this. If it's for you, it's for you. There's a lot of people who don't like the stuff I like about AEW. Trust me, I have those conversations all the time. I defend AEW to its death with pretty much everything they do, and sometimes even in my own mind, I'm kind of like, yeah, they had the person who's saying that has a pretty good point, but like I gotta defend AEW. I just gotta do it. But that's the thing with the whole Fiend character is like, at first I really, really, really liked it. As a matter of fact, I bought a limited edition Funko Pop of his that I've got displayed because I was like, this is gonna be worth something. Like, this is the character is gonna be like, this is it. They finally figured out what to do with Bray Wyatt, and then like that whole Hell in a Cell thing happened when the match was a DQ in Hell in a Cell because like Rollins was gonna use a sledgehammer.
That ruined it so bad.
Yeah, that really, really, really set everything back. I think the presentation, like with his theme music and his entrance and all that stuff is great. But like, and here's the other thing. I'm not a horror fan. That isn't my realm of like entertainment at all. So like when I saw Bray Wyatt, it's funny because I thought Ivan Ooze and I saw someone make that meme on Twitter, but like it reminded me of Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie. Like it was like,
oh God, yes.
And to me that was like corny. The mask looks like it took a lot of work. I mean, it looks like a Slipknot mask. I'm pretty sure it gets the stuff made by the same people who make Slipknot stuff. It's like high quality, but it's like his actual gear just looked like he was just wearing. I mean, it looked like they put no effort into like the gear he was wearing, but at the same time,
it looked like he was wearing like a motorcycle, like we see people on motorcycles wear. You know what I mean?
And I get it's supposed to be like he was burned. Like I get that, but like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. It just isn't. And to be honest, like I think the thing with him and Randy Orton has just been so overplayed and it's just been going on for too long, and it just isn't for me, But if you're a fan of it, that's fine with me too.
Yeah, I'm a fan of horror and I love the mask. I love the creepy like burned alive vibe. Like I love that. I eat that up. I think it's amazing. I just don't know how well it's going to translate to wrestling.
Yeah,
And that's my problem
sure,
with
and
it.
fair enough. I mean that's a really good point to make. Is like what could possibly we've seen him burned alive. We've seen every possible scenario. Like we've seen him like drown right in the river with Braun Strowman and stuff. Like we've seen this guy.
We've seen him drown. We've seen him burn alive. We've seen him get smashed with a hammer, a mallet. Um,
Yeah, he's been
I don't
killed
know.
like over. And usually in these kind of movies, isn't like the fire usually like the end point? Like you get burned, and it's like, how are you gonna come back from that? I don't know.
That's it. Yeah.
um,
No, usually like in zombie movies, it's a I can't say it on YouTube, but a blank to the head.
a blank to the head.
Like a pew.
Oh right, yeah. Pew, pew, pew. Kenny the Bastard with the super chat.
Thank you, Kenny.
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 South Park. Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. It says, just want to say, hey, Jessi, you're amazing, and we need the real money match. Soulja Boy versus Randy Orton. Randy hits his tights.
In his
like
tights.
raw.
In his tights, like, rawr, Soldier Boy, come here.
In his tights. I thought it said hit his tights for some reason. Okay,
No.
I got it. Okay.
That would be amazing. I thought they were going to go there. I thought The Miz was hinting at it the other night. But it was Bad Bunny.
Yeah, and which is, I mean, I saw that. I mean, I thought it was going to be a tag team match, but I guess they got confidence that Bad Bunny can go. So, once again, I'm not into it, but I know that Bad Bunny is like, and here's the common theme, right? Unless it's Roman Reigns, basically with WWE, I'm just not into it at the moment. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I get the appeal there. Like Bad Bunny, there's more people who know who Bad Bunny is than anybody who's currently in the WWE, like worldwide. So I get why the partnership makes sense. And he has a lot of fans. And here's the thing. He is a hardcore wrestling fan. I will give him credit. Like, he is an actual wrestling fan who's getting to live out a dream. I couldn't, like, if that was me, like, I wouldn't want people hating on me just because, like, I was successful at something else and then I got to do what I always wanted to do. So, I'll throw that out there, too. But, yeah, Soulja Boy... me and Jessi are the same age. I mean, when we were in college, we were probably sophomores in college when that song.
Superman.
Yeah, you couldn't go 5 minutes without hearing that song.
I can still do it. I can still do it.
Look at that stuff.
I can still do the dance with the little feet, and then you slap your leg, and
My gosh. So that's right. Yeah, the whole it pretty much hasn't been relevant since then. So it's interesting to see how these. Like, because it isn't just rappers, but it just happens to be in this example where, like, you have Soulja Boy, who the last thing I had ever heard about Soulja Boy was a few years ago. He was selling like bootleg video game systems that were like definitely illegal, and he got.
I heard that. Yeah.
And then in like Bow Wow, I hadn't heard of since Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift like a decade ago. And it's funny how now all of a sudden these guys are like these massive wrestling fans that are like trying to get in the WWE, and it's like, no, y'all are just.
So.
But there's like others like Bad Bunny where you hear about him and you're like, oh no, this guy's like actually a wrestler. Like, you know what I mean? It's one thing to be an actual wrestling fan and want to do this and be a celebrity, or just be a celebrity who's just doing it for the bag. You know that you can. There's a definite difference in what you get out of those people.
Yeah. Definitely, for sure.
Kogan Sport with super chat. Thank
you, Kogan.
Yes, thank you, Kogan. Says the mask was actually designed by Tom Savini, creator of the gore effects in George A. Romero's Dead movies, like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. Oh, okay. Is it?
He actually does. He does the Slipknot mask.
Okay,
too.
that was my next
guy.
question. If that's all the same guy. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Kogan.
Thank you, Kogan.
I figure that's why it took him so long to come back. It's because they had to get that mask done.
Yeah, we'll see how that all goes. I mean, it's going to be Randy Orton and The Fiend at WrestleMania, and like we were both there when they wrestled in Orlando, and
oh man, with the projector.
Yeah, that sucked.
With the projector on it. Remember all the
it was
maggots
terrible.
and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they were selling it like like Randy Orton was like looking at the ring like all scared.
It's like spoof.
Yeah, that was dumb. And then Randy Orton won too, and like nobody wanted that either.
Yeah, I know. I was legitimately upset at that.
Oh man.
Remember he had the sperm snake when he came out?
I completely forgot about
Remember
that.
Yes, he had the sperm
Okay.
snake.
I'm gonna
Ooh,
have to go
great.
back and rewatch. I have it pretty much pulled up on the network already, so I'll watch that. That's man. What else is there? Like before we get out of here, we got. I mean, I'll say this real quick. I think I don't know if I've ever been less interested in a WrestleMania match as I am Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. I saw that they're building that.
Oh my god, with the train sound effects, can we talk about that?
I just saw that. I think like yesterday.
I didn't even notice.
Well, I hadn't been watching, but like I saw that on Twitter and I was like, what? And I clicked it, and they actually did that, right? Like they actually piped in the sound of a train.
They added a choo-choo sound.
Oh my god!
And I don't know if there was chugga chuggas. I don't know if there was like chugga 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 while he's like running around, but there was definitely a choo-choo.
Did you see the New Day thing where Xavier Woods was playing AJ Styles?
AJ
TNA?
Styles,
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Strowman thing, that's so lame. But once again, if I was in the demographic of wrestling fans that the WWE is actually marketing towards, which are children, that might be cool. You know what I mean? So like, that's why my opinions of the show are going to be so strange, because I don't like it, but if I was 10, I might, and that's who they're going after. So like,
oh my god, I remember Thomas the Tank Engine.
dude, remember? Do you ever see the Filthy Frank video where he's talking about weeaboos?
Yes.
He's talking about how he's like, oh, I just wanted a piece of that Tank Engine's ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a piece of Percy's ass.
The helicopter's
ass. A piece of that helicopter's ass. That's so funny. Only you would know that too. I love that you knew that what I was talking about.
I knew immediately where you were going.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be Thomas the Tank Engine when I grew up. Oh my god, that's funny. Throwback with another super chat. Thank you so much, Pat. Says,
thank you.
Check out Fight Talk's Twitch. He always plays my Twitch. I haven't been live on there in months.
Aww.
But yeah, if y'all want to support me over there, go for it. I'll be back on there soon. Retromania Wrestling finally dropped for the Xbox One like yesterday, so I'm gonna get that very soon, maybe even today. So I'll be on there. It's Fight Talk _ just like my Twitter, if you want to check that out on Twitch. He says, support these guys. They're phenomenal. Thank you for both love and support. Jessi and Steven are both awesome. Thank you both.
Thank you. Oh, he did another one. I have Quad C DJ Come Ride the Train playing.
Yes. They're always sunny. There was someone who actually tweeted about this, and like I saw it, and I thought it was hilarious. But and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is my favorite television show. There's an episode. Do you follow that show, Jessi?
Yes. Everyone tells me I look like Sweet.
Oh, that's right. We've talked about this. Duh. I always forget, because some people I talk to like on a regular basis, a few of my buddies like just won't give it a chance, so I can never remember like who those few people are. But the Freight Train, when they're talking about getting Psycho Pete back and all that stuff, that was like their theme song. They're like trying to get him to like get in a line with them and like do the song and everything. I'm just like picturing that with Braun Strowman. We're just like, come and ride the train, ride it. He's just running around the ring, just shoulder tackling people.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Braun Strowman needs to do that. But he would be instantly over.
I mean, they got to do something. I think I couldn't.
I mean, what the heck was going on? They've got choo-choo noises. They've got slime. They've got hopscotch. What is going on?
So I completely missed the hopscotch. I don't even know what happened there. This is the second I'm hearing about it, but I didn't go out of my way. I did see a picture of Strowman covered in what looked like Nickelodeon gack. So
yes, it was slime. And it was so funny because Shane McMahon pulls out this bucket, and I just jokingly immediately said, "Was that a bucket of slime?" And then it was. And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I was right." What?
How does that
It's
even
so dumb.
like was he
Why was
hopscotching
there
before
slime?
that, or like was it a kids segment? What's
Yes. I don't he was hopscotching before. I don't know what was going on. I wasn't really paying attention. I think I fell asleep. And then I woke up and there was a bucket of slime. And I don't know what it's to me it feels like Vince McMahon saw how much money the NFL and Nickelodeon made collabing together and he wants that bag. That's what it looks
that
like to
might I
me.
mean
I
that
don't know.
might be a bad idea though, to be honest.
No, it wouldn't. That would be amazing. A slime zone in WWE at WrestleMania, that'd be incredible. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what. It's just it's frustrating. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, and this whole thing is gonna be
It's
it's all gonna
hilarious.
be just for Strowman to like throw Shane off something really high at WrestleMania. So
You have to throw him off that pirate ship. That pirate ship's there.
Throwback says it reminded him of Double Dare, and you can't see that, or you
Yeah.
can't do that on television. Yeah, two classic shows.
They even mentioned that WWE on Fox said you can't do that in WWE or something like that.
Mm,
They kept they put those feelers out there.
they should bring back Nick Arcade.
They shouldn't, and Xavier Woods should be
That'd
the
be
host. That's his like
that'd be
dream.
so awesome. Um,
That
Especially with the technology now, they were able to pull off the whole like green screen being in a video game thing in the '90s. It'd probably be so much better now. Yeah,
yeah.
that's totally off topic though. Anything else? I mean, it looks like we're gonna
Uh,
have Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman in a triple threat, which I think will be good. I mean, everyone
that's
they're all
fine.
good. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
I'm good
we'll
with
do a
that.
full WrestleMania predictions. Obviously, like I mean, I guess the show's coming up soon. Maybe like next week or the week. Is it the week after?
Yeah.
We'll do like full on predictions.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do like a big super
Yeah,
show.
and shout out to Bobby Lashley. I love seeing him as the champion. He deserves it.
Yes, me too.
So yeah. Oh, and also in WrestleMania, something that I'm looking forward to talking about next week too is we're gonna finally get the debut of Omis, right? So like it's him and
That's
AJ
right, him and DJ. That's
against the
right.
New Day, right, for the tag
That's right,
titles.
DJ. Yes,
I'm looking forward
yes,
to that because, like I've been saying, if the guy can wrestle even a little bit, strap the rocket ship to him.
yes, absolutely. He's so cool.
Yes, and he looks like he would be
Yeah,
completely unbeatable. Um,
he's scary.
I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. All right,
me too.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
that'll probably do it. Let me get the sponsor stuff pulled up real quick. Jesse, if you can kind of let everybody know about the channel and what they should do and thumbs up and all that stuff.
Okay.
And by the way, super chats donations. If you send any of that while Jesse's talking or while I'm plugging the sponsors, we'll make sure to address any super chats or donations before we log off. We will definitely still get to them.
Of course we will. So, as always, we love our chat. Thank you so much, chat, for being so amazing during this. It's incredible. I've missed you guys. We've missed y'all. You're incredible. If you like what you see, if you like this, if you enjoy the chat, please do give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Helps out the algorithm to let other like-minded, amazing people know to check us out. And if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe because especially right now, with the chaos of being a new mom, we never know when I'm going to go live and when Steven's going to be available to go live. So we just kind of plan it together like the day before, if that, or maybe the same day, and then we just go live. So what you want to do is you want to subscribe and you want to push that little bell button to get all the notifications so you get notified when we go live so you can be in this amazing, incredible chat. Really means a lot to us. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. It's incredible. Thank you so much, everybody, for being so freaking cool. We love you guys. Everybody, thank you so much for the super chats. Really does help us out. Really does help support us, especially right now with everything going on with me, with Steven. Super helps us out. So we really, really do appreciate it.
Yes, we very, very much do. And like Jesse was saying, like literally, it's usually the day before, the day of when we can kind of find out if our schedules are gonna be able to do this. And we're trying to get back on track of doing this as a regular thing with the two of us and getting Jesse back on camera again soon. So like, thank you all very much for the support. Even when Jesse was out, when I was bringing other people on and stuff, very, very much appreciated. As far as the sponsors go, I guess I need to pull this up. It's been a minute. I'm a little rusty. Actually, I don't want to put that on the screen. Let me make sure I don't have my email up. Ba-ba-ba. Let's try this. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so I have a live ad read here for Music City Toys and Collectibles. We get it pulled up. All right. So as you see here on your screen, we have Music City Toys and Collectibles, a sponsor of the show. They are awesome. They're hooking me and Jessi up with some mystery boxes soon, so we can show y'all more about the stuff that you can buy from there. But this is what they're all about. So, founded in 2002, formerly known as Heroes and Legends, Music City Toys and Collectibles is your southern fried source for vintage and modern toys, autographed memorabilia, and all things pop culture. Visit their brand new retail location opening May 1st at 101 West Main Street in Waterton, Tennessee. Keep up to date with all their special in-store signings, online sales, and convention appearances at musiccitytoys.biz, and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Music City Toys. And a big reason why this is so important, y'all, May the 1st, 101 West Main Street, Waterton, Tennessee. This is Nashville, Tennessee, for those of you unfamiliar. I'm going to be there live in the house on May 1st. I'll be doing, I thought I was going to go there and just like get some autographs and do like a short interview. It turns out that I'm actually going to be running the Q&A session with Dan the Beast Severn. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have, I think what the plan is they're selling 30 tickets. So if y'all follow Music City Toys and Collectibles or check out, their Facebook page and stuff, they have links to get tickets for this. There's 30 still available. As the last time I talked to the guys over there. So we want to get this place packed out. It's going to be me and Dan Severn, who's of course a UFC Hall of Famer and a legend of professional wrestling as well. I think we're going to watch some of his UFC fights with him, like in the room, and like on a projector or a big screen or however they're going to have it set up. We're going to watch some of his matches, and then we're going to have an open mic where I'm just going to take questions from the fans, and we're going to have a good time with Dan the Beast Severn and get some action figures autographed by him too, which I'm looking forward to. So huge shout out and huge thank you to Music City Toys and Collectibles for everything you're doing for the podcast. Also, shout out to WrestleRumble.com. As always, the prizes are insane for their giveaways and, of course, their contests. Right now, they have 3 different belt raffles going on. The first one, these are all for $1, by the way, $1 entries. The first one we got here is the NXT Belt Bash giveaway. There's going to be 3 winners. Someone's going to get a NXT replica heavyweight title, someone's going to get a North American title, and someone's going to get a set of tag team titles. All for $1. Hypothetically speaking, you throw in $3, you can win 4 championship belts in that one. Completely insane. The winner for that one's going to be announced right after the takeover shows. We have the Stone Cold giveaway. Once again, just $1. There's going to be 1 winner and 1 belt. They're giving away the Steve Austin Legacy title, which I can't really describe if you're not looking at the screen or if you're hearing the audio version of this, but it's really badass. It's like this metal/silver looking title belt with Steve Austin's skull logo in the middle, and I think they only made 500 of them. Yeah, it says it on the thing actually. 1 of 500. So they've only made 500 of these belts. So really, really cool stuff, and it could be yours for $1. And then there's another one going on right now, the Legends of WrestleMania belt giveaway. This once again only $1. They are giving away a custom WrestleMania Moments belt that I've actually never even seen before. It's in the middle of it. It's Daniel Bryan holding up the 2 world title belts at the end of WrestleMania 30, and the side plates are other WrestleMania moments. The belt looks badass. And the other winners are going to get a classic Stone Cold Steve Austin Smoking Skull title belt. The other is going to get a Brahma Bull Rock custom belt. That belt was actually never even used on WWE TV, but I've heard the story of it, and I remember it being in some of the old video games and stuff. And it's a badass looking belt with the Brahma Bull on the front of it. So, I mean, hypothetically speaking, if you were to spend, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could spend $7 and win 4, 5, 6, 7. You could spend $7 and win 8 world championship belts. Like, that's completely insane. Thousands of dollars worth of title belts right here. So check it out, get involved, and they'll have a pick'em contest for WrestleMania also, where you'll be able to enter and actually pick winners and losers of matches and all that stuff, and they'll probably have a bunch of cash involved in that. So get involved, jump on WrestleRumble.com, and make sure to follow them on social media at WrestleRumble. And also shout out to my brother Brian Jensen. He is a boxing coach. He is an owner of Steel Boxing and Athletics. He works with Parkinson's patients. He can help you in a wide variety of ways. If you want to learn how to throw hands, get in better shape, learn self-defense, if you want to compete at an amateur or a professional level in kickboxing, MMA, boxing, whatever it is, Brian can help you out. If you have any kind of neurological issues such as Parkinson's or MS, anything like that, Brian's certified in helping in those cases as well. So it doesn't matter what size you are, what skill level you are, what kind of shape you're in, nothing like that. Brian can help you no matter what level you're at or what position you're in or what your background is or anything. If you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area, you can meet him at his gym. He can meet you in person. He can, whatever, your business at a park, whatever works best for you. And if you're not, he'll help you remotely. He'll do Zoom calls, Skype sessions, all that stuff, and help you reach your goals anywhere in the world. Make sure to give him a follow on Instagram at BoxingATL, BoxingATL. It's the best way to book sessions with him. Just slide in those DMs and shoot him a follow. And just like with all of our sponsors, if you let them know that myself and Jessi sent you that way, I promise you get some good deals. And independentwrestling.tv. I can't stress this enough, y'all. I'm so fortunate to have a code for this website. They have some awesome wrestling. Tomorrow, Southern Underground Pro, which is my favorite wrestling company in the world. They're based out of Nashville, Tennessee. They're finally back tomorrow. They're airing the show on IWTV tomorrow night. I think it's at like 9 or 10 Eastern. I'm going to be doing a live chat during part of it, but I'm going to definitely... They filmed 3 shows, and it's great to have SUP back. You can watch independentwrestling.tv or iwtv.live. Either link will get you there. Use code FIGHTTALK, FIGHTTALK with no space, all is one word. That'll get you 5 free days on the service. So you can watch SUP this weekend. You can watch any other shows that you want to watch. The whole back catalog of thousands of matches, hundreds of promotions. And it helps the podcast out a lot and lets them know that you're listening and that you're taking some of these match recommendations and checking them out for yourself. So use code FIGHTTALK on independentwrestling.tv or iwtv.live and yeah, watch some free pro wrestling for 5 days. So that'll do it for all that stuff. And I did see we got a super chat during all that. Another one from Kogan.
Heck yes, thank you, Kogan. It's a really good question.
Yes, thank you, Kogan, with a $20 super chat. That's a big one. Thank you. Says, I was debating this with Doug. Doug, of course, is the guy I'll be doing the live chat with tomorrow night. Says, I'm curious what you guys think. Is Bray a great worker for his dedication or character performing? I argue he accomplishes something that goes beyond a quote-unquote 6-star match people like Omega do. So I guess the question is, like, is Bray a great pro wrestler because he's so dedicated to his gimmick?
I think, to me the question was like will he be remembered like in his legacy as like a good pro wrestler because the extent of his gimmick work, or like I guess because the extent that he goes to for his character work? That's like a really good question. I feel like he'll be remembered as a great like wrestler. I enjoy his in-ring work. I don't think he's like the greatest ever. He's not like fantastic, but he's a good wrestler. He's flexible. He does a cool thing, Abigail. But I do think the depth at which he brings these characters to life. And if you look back at like Bray Wyatt, he like literally described how the Fiend came to be like 6 years ago, like something insane. Like he's had this vision for such a long time. And you go back to like the Wyatt family promos. You go back to when, like, to me, a good pro wrestler, it's like, how did it make me feel? So it's like when Daniel Bryan turned on the Wyatt family, that made me feel great. Like when the Fiend like debuted and he had this incredible entrance, how did that make me feel? It made me feel awesome. Obviously it was ruined with Seth Rollins in that stupid match, but still. And how did I feel then? I was mad because I loved the Fiend so much and I wanted the Fiend to be so great, and I thought the character had so much more, deserved so much better than that. It made me feel emotions, and it made me feel, it suspended my disbelief. You know what I mean? For me personally, and I'm sure for other people who are like pro wrestling purists, they would say otherwise, but I think for me personally, I would say yes. I feel like he's a great wrestling character. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure. And yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing with Bray, I don't think has necessarily ever been his talent. It's been like the way they've booked themselves into these weird corners with him over and over again. Where like when the Wyatt family first got, came onto the scene with Harper and Rowan, like I felt like that was such a can't miss. Like it was so different, and he was so good in the ring for a guy his size and his mic work, and it was a very intriguing character. And then he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania 30, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's just everyone else." Damn. And then he rambled on for like 5 more years about God knows what. I mean, he was just. I mean, turned out that a lot of it was like related to what the feed wound up being. But like, there was years where he was just kind of like cutting the same promo every time he was out there. And then like he lost to the Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think it would have been great for him to beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like there was all these.
That would have been good. Yeah. There's like a whole bunch of what
Yeah,
ifs.
and like honestly, if they were gonna break the streak at WrestleMania 30, I think it should have been Bray and not the Undertaker. I think that would have done wonders for him.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
So, there's just been a lot of missed opportunities, and then the whole Fiend thing, like you said, and like I mentioned earlier, I think that there have been points during this that it's been really good and really intriguing, but now it's at a point where like I don't know I'm at a point with the character where I don't know what they can do to salvage me caring about him. I know there's fans that'll disagree though. There's probably plenty of fans that like saw what he's done the last like week, and they're like, "Oh, like I'm back in. Like this is the new version of the Fiend and all this stuff." And I get that, and I hope for him, like I hope the best. But like, I feel like we're gonna be having the same conversation in a few weeks, or like after WrestleMania, or maybe a month after WrestleMania,
Yeah.
where we're going, okay, now what with Burned Fiend? Now what happens?
Does Burned Fiend heal? Hurt heal.
Right.
He's hurt.
Well, and also, how much of this is going to be used as a vehicle to make Alexa Bliss the actual star of this whole story? Which
True. What happens then?
which I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I mean, I could see the WWE doing that. Like, I could see the WWE having the Fiend play a backseat to Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I see that, but at the same time, it's very easy for that. I think they've written that character in so much that she can just kind of snap out of it. Something will make her snap out of it.
Yeah.
You
Or they need to keep recruiting, because I've seen all those rumors about like where the hell has Bo Dallas been? It's like this would be perfect. Like have Bo Dallas come out as some demented, weird, like he hadn't been seen in the last year because he's been in the Firefly Funhouse or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's been stuck. He believed too hard. Yeah.
He believed too hard. Well, that's probably a good spot to end this week. This is good. We wound up going about a half hour longer than I expected. Good. Perfect. Good deal.
Yeah.
Y'all can follow me on Twitter at @FightTalk_ if you want to. That's really all I've got to plug outside of the sponsors. And look out for the Fight Talk podcast feed. I'll have the audio for this uploaded, tomorrow or Friday. I have my interview with Zoe, aka Gemma Jules, coming out. That'll be tomorrow, audio form on the Fight Talk podcast feed, and all that good stuff. Jessi, make sure everyone knows, like, one more time, like, all the stuff you got going on, and make sure you're using like the Papa John's codes and all that stuff too.
Yeah, so basically you can follow me on Twitter at Jessi the Buckeye. Also, you can subscribe to my OnlyFans if you want to like actually talk to me like in DMs and stuff, because I don't go into my DMs on Twitter. My Instagram and my Facebook are private, so don't try and find me there. So yeah, onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. That's the best way to just support me immediately and my family, other than this amazing YouTube channel. Yeah, and then obviously I do have, if you want to order pizza for WrestleMania, and you want to order some Papa John's, you can use my code JESSI25. That's Jessi25 for 25% off your entire order. It works. It's great. Saves you a ton of money. It's fantastic. We use it all the time. I've got a ton of people who use it.
Yes.
Subscribe. Yes, subscribe. And yeah, like. You gotta go to the bathroom? Yeah, okay. Okay, you're just itchy. Yeah. So yeah, that's all my stuff.
There you go. Like and subscribe. And everybody who sees my Twitter right now, look at that banner. This Friday, the return of the Mighty Ducks. Get hyped, y'all. I'm hoping it.
Mighty Ducks Senior Citizen Silver Edition.
Yeah, right. I, I'm I'm pretty worried if I'm being honest, but I'm optimistic. You know,
It'll be
it's
great.
a
It'll be
it's a
great.
series, so it won't be like we'll see over the next few weeks how it's going. But watch that on Disney Plus if y'all got it, everyone. I'm a huge Mighty Ducks fan. I was a massive fan of the movies as a kid, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It's Disney Plus. They'll do it. They'll do it
I
right.
hope so. I sure hope so. Quack Attack is back, Jack.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
My baby jumped.
Anything left from you, Jessi? I'll sign it off.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, y'all. Don't know when we'll be back, but you know, stay up to date with my Twitter. I'll make sure to post when me and Jessi are live, and also make sure to post when I'm live on other channels. And Fightful Select Weekend, or listen to that on Sunday, and all that good stuff. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back sometime soon. Maybe Tuesday again, Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll figure it out. But yeah, see y'all later. Have a good one.
Bye.